Hey guys, what is up? It is your friendly neighbor Dubigus here again, and this is going to be another IL guide for Rayman Legends. I kind of want to do an IL guide for the harder levels at the very least. I might eventually do one for every level. I will put this into a playlist with the Hell Breaks Loose guide, but this one is Geyser Blast, or if you've played Origins, Geyser Blowout. So, without further ado, let's get started. So, right at the start, you spawn in on this little platform here. You spawn a little bit above it, so you don't want to be spamming anything. Although if you enter from the load screen rather than restart level, you start on it, so I guess that's kind of moot. But over to the left is the first TNC, and all you do is you do a spin jump over to it, do a ground pound when you're low to the ground, and kick immediately to the right, and you will break the cage, land, and then what you want to do is start a spin attack around here, just before this platform. Hold down and do something that's called a roll jump. And a roll jump is pretty much you jump in the starting frames of your roll, and for whatever reason it will give you a small amount of extra height. As you can see, you can make it all the way up there. So you just do some spin attacks, kill that guy, buffer a jump there. So this guy is the worst enemy in the entire game. He's super random, he's super inconsistent. However, there are ways to make it a lot more consistent, still not super consistent. So let's go back just a second. What I do is I drop down in the water. Let's get right here. So I drop down about here in the water. If you drop down over here too close to the hand, he'll grab you immediately. The hand will like shoot over up here, and it'll just consume you with the arm rather than grab you. The grabbing isn't even really a thing that you have to worry about. So if you drop over to the left though, then he won't see you until you're already in the water, so he'll rear up to go grab, but by that time you'll have zoomed off, so you'll see I splash in the water, he sees me. So the hand doesn't actually have a hitbox, the rest of the arm does. If the hand grabs you, you die instantly, it's a crushing death, but the rest of the arm is just damage. So what I like to do here is hold up and right, more right than up, but still up and right. And then mash the attack button once I splash down. And what that does is that you pretty much do a surface water spin, and then you can just hit up here to hit the teensy, or you can try to do another attack, or you can hit it while going up the spout. But the most consistent way for me is jump out of the water here and do any sort of attack to hit this teensy and then go in the spout. And then you go onto the second screen. Second screen's pretty easy. You just spin attack and roll the whole way. Here is really, really weird. So here's a water boost, and by water boost I mean when you hit the water, you immediately attack, and it'll give you a boost. So you'll see I'm gonna fail it here, and it's because for some reason the water it treated me as out of the water until this spot. Still don't know why that happens. However, it happens, and it fucks up water boost like every time. But if you can get a water boost, that's awesome, because that'll speed up this section a bit. You just swim over to the spout, do a ground attack. I kick over that first helping hand, and this was sloppy. Was this actually the one? I'm starting to... Yeah, it was. Sorry, that was sloppy, and I don't remember it being sloppy. But the goal is to grab this helping hand and release at about the bottom point. You can release a little bit before and it's fine. And if you grab the helping hand and then release it in the next frame, which is very easy to do just by buffering a down input, and by the way, when I'm talking about buffering an input, I mean literally just hitting it before it happens, and the game actually buffers everything, so it's really nice. But if you release it the frame that you grab it, you lose no momentum at all. In fact, you gain it in this case. So if you can actually grab down at the bottom and release the next frame, you'll fly all the way into the door. I messed it up there, but that's okay. It's not the end of the world, I guess. Jump on these guys' heads. So there's like... Let me go back just a sec. Sorry, there's a lot of pausing in this one. So there's a bunch of patterns that these guys can be in, alright? So this is one of them. This only happened because of the slop outside. If I didn't have the slop outside, this guy right here would actually be peeking right now, or just a little bit ago. And the way to interact with that when he peeks is you actually jump, kick him, bounce off this guy, bounce off this guy, bounce off this guy. If they're just like this, and he's going to the bottom, then you can just bounce off all of their heads. And then kick. You want to wait before you kick a little bit, because you want to maintain your height. You want your kick to be in the cage on the first frame that it's vulnerable. Here's a really neat thing. There are actually 3 different ways to get out of here, and they're all really, really strange. The one I'm about to show is the fastest, which is unfortunate because I think there's a really cool way. So the cool way, in my opinion, is you actually walk back a step, do a spin attack, and roll jump up, and then you can grab the helping hand or even get up to this ledge off of a wall jump. But the way that I'm about to do it right here is the fastest. All you have to do is hold left while in the black screen, hold run, and then you want to hit the attack button. The second Rayman, he has this little turnaround animation, so let me, as you can see, he's facing right, and then if we go a little bit forward, he has that turnaround. You want to wait until at least halfway through that turnaround animation to do your attack, otherwise you're going to get a standing punch, which will make everything bad. So you do this run attack, this spin attack, and then the second you leave this ledge, you're going to kick. And that'll make sure that you hit that thing. Here you just want to pound and hit that. Spam attacks there, actually, because that'll send you farther, and you can actually get into the second spout if you're a bit lucky, just off of that jump, and that'll speed this up a little bit. So what you do here is you actually land, and then you're going to spin attack and then pound. Jump and then pound. Reason being, if you continue a spin attack, you'll get stuck up here. If you just pound, you actually don't get down here. I think there's one spot that you can pound, like a really small gap that you can pound and still make it down here, but it's not as consistent as this strat, and it's also, I don't even think it's faster. So do that, jump into the spout, go into the next door. Easy peasy. Here is really cool. So in Origins, it was easy. You just run to the right and then land on this boil. But in Legends, the spacing is really strange, and also for some reason, there's like a bunch of corners that you can't actually just smoothly run on. So what I do is I do a spin attack, a short hop, hit this, doesn't matter, and then I'm going to kick the boil. And you'll see that gets me here. Then the second that I see myself starting to run, I'll hit the attack button to do the spin attack. Right about at this fern right here, this dark fern, when you touch it, that's about when you can start holding left and jump. And that will get you just enough height to hit that corner. Here you can pound this corner and it'll break that cage because the pound has an AoE. And then you pound again, go over here. So this is the magic cycle. This is probably not what you're going to see for the first couple times you try this level, but if you do, awesome. Basically, if this is going up and this is going up and this gap is big enough, you can just make it through without having to wait any cycles at all. And if you do this entire room the way that I did it so far, you'll get the magic cycle. I'm pretty sure guaranteed. I've never not gotten it if I've perfected the first start of the level. So do this, do a spin just to make sure I get through. That is something that I actually wanted to do. So once I got off here, I mashed attack. Well, I made sure to not, land up here, but I mashed attack once I got down a little bit. Reason being, that bird floats up to about, where this explosion is. And if you're attacking, no matter where he comes from, he will die if you're in that spot. And if you ground pound, you'll get the jump animation, or you interrupt the bounce animation, or you interrupt it with an attack. Both are much slower than this strategy, especially because if you do this right, you can actually just fall doing an attack like you see Rayman doing right now, and that gets you down here the fastest. This cage. So these guys, you kind of just have to adapt, but this is the fastest way to do this cage. I'll just let you see it for a sec. So that's kind of, you just kind of have to adapt to this cage. It's really, really kind of confusing. So if this is happening, right, where this bird is peeking right when you get up here, what you're going to want to do is do the up attack that I do. If this bird peeked when you entered the door, so he's descending when you get here, then you actually can just do a straight kick and then jump and up kick the next guy. There is actually a way, if you're lucky, both cycles can actually like come together. If maybe I'll try to pause at the spot. So there. If you can get here at this point, perfect. This is the fastest cycle. if you do a spin attack and then immediately kick, you will kick this bird and kick that bird in one kick. And then you can just jump once and kick that guy and then break the cage. Unfortunately, it's really hard to get that cycle. I don't think it's optimal, but if you messed up anything previous, then it should be on that cycle. Here you make sure you jump. If you just spin attack, you don't actually get boosted until you get about here. If you jump, you get boosted sooner. So always jump there to hit that bumper. It's like a really small time saver. Alright, here, just mash attack. Go nuts. This is pretty simple. You can do a pound, you can just do what I did and just water boost. Doesn't really matter. Go here, etc. Skip the chain, obviously. This screen is a nightmare. These birds have such terrible cycles no matter what you do. So pretty much, you're gonna see this. I got the good cycle, like the only good cycle. First off, to enter this room, Spike likes to do a spin attack, get boosted, and then ground smash and spin attack. I just kick. If you kick through the spout, it's like faster. I don't know. So that's like the best cycle that you can get. And to put into perspective, that level was just done in about 1:43. So let's watch it through all the way from the beginning, and I'll try to reiterate on a couple points. I believe this is the start. Should be. So make sure you roll jump there. This bird is always in your way unless you kick, so you have to kick. Make sure to avoid that guy as best as possible, just with a surface water spin. Hold down this whole time, very easy. Try to water boost there. Skip the first helping hand, release the frame that you grab. Just try to adapt to the cycle here. Jump on their heads is pretty much generally the safest. Kick, make sure. Pound, mash attack again. Attack before pounding. Make sure to jump and kick. Dark Fern. And Magic Cycle if you're lucky. Or good, you know, who knows. Make sure to mash attack there again. Adapt to the cycle. Do not use the chain, by the way. Make sure to jump. Mash attack more. Try to water boost. You can mash attack here as well. Kick through the spout. Kick the guy. Make sure to just adapt to all the cycles in this level. It's a pretty tough level, but that's pretty much that. So thank you for watching this aisle guide for Geyser Blast in Rayman Legends.